What's up, curious youngsters? What happens if we're always wasting time doing useless things or watching millions of videos, ending up with those weird YouTube recommendations? Why not spend a few minutes on Senor Curiosity instead? Learning 30 totally epic facts that you'll forget in 10 minutes, but these aren't just any facts. These will leave you completely amazed. For this and much more, here are 30 things you didn't know 5 minutes ago. If we think about giant animals, we probably imagine the great whales. And did you know that these enormous creatures have a surprising adaptation to save energy despite their size? Because when they dive to great depths, they slow their heartbeats down to just 2 times per minute to save oxygen. If we think of a scavenger bird, the vulture surely comes to mind, famous for feeding on animal remains. And did you know that these birds are completely bald? This feature helps them avoid diseases, since by not having feathers on their head or neck, they prevent bacteria from their food from sticking to their bodies. That's smart, Mr. Vulture, isn't it? Generally, paper is not exactly a very durable material. However, an ancient Japanese method dating back to the 8th century can preserve it in excellent condition for thousands of years. We're talking about washi, sheets of plant fiber that, thanks to a special treatment, are used to make lamps, curtains, and even the interior panels of homes. The desert is very harsh, and you have to make major adaptations to be able to live in it. And this is what was attempted in this complex of tower buildings called Mejame, near the capital of Iran. A project that had a future until it was no longer possible to guarantee basic services, such as water and electricity, and it was completely abandoned. The kingdom of fungi has all kinds of species with amazing appearances, and one of the most striking, known as the ghost fungus, is capable of producing light. This variety lives at the base of some trees in Australia, and due to a chemical reaction emits a soft green glow when it gets dark. When we think of hunting animals, we probably picture the big cats of the savannah. But did you know that the dragonfly is the most efficient predator in the entire animal kingdom? Because this small flying insect achieves a 97% success rate in catching its prey, while, for example, lions only reach about 20%. Well done, dragonfly. Many animals are sacred to some cultures because of their striking appearance, and one of them is the golden langur, a species of monkey that lives in the Black Mountains of Bhutan. It became known for being considered the most beautiful primate in the world because of its striking fur and completely black face. If we think of a canary, we probably imagine a yellow bird, but in the case of the Gloucester canary variety, they have one more detail that makes their appearance quite striking. This bird species has specially shaped feathers on its head, as if it had gotten a haircut. Many companies are so famous around the world that it's hard to believe they could have been called something else. And this is the case with Amazon, which at first was going to be called Cadabra Incorporated, until they decided on the final name. And the curious thing is that even today, the site redirects to Amazon. Have you ever been bitten by an ant? You've probably wondered how they're capable of such a bite, considering how small they are. Well, the secret is that they have tiny teeth coated with zinc, a metal that makes their bite powerful. Even though they don't have much strength or size, the very cold weather makes survival almost impossible. And that's why there aren't many creatures adapted to this kind of environment, but among those that can survive. In this habitat, we find the black glacier worms, the only known species that can spend their entire lives in the ice, and even to the point of being frozen and coming back to life after many years. Yes, which is quite shocking. Let's go. Surviving winter in nature is quite a challenge for living beings, but some are very clever and manage to do it without any problems. And this is the case of leaf-mining insects, tiny worms that live in the tissue of leaves and have the interesting trait of associating themselves with different bacteria. They manage to keep a piece of the leaf alive so they can feed during the cold weather. We know that birds are divided between those that can fly and those that live on the ground, but the species known as the red monocory is a rare combination of both. Since during the winter it lives in the forests of Nepal, but when summer arrives it flies over the highest peaks of the Himalayas. In addition, this bird stands out for its striking crest and very colorful feathers in 12 metallic shades. We might think that all chickens are the same, but Did you know that there are more than 2,600 breeds around the world, and each one has some trait that sets it apart? For example, the silver lace polished chicken stands out for its black and white feathers and a large feathered crest that nearly covers its head. We know how important sustainability is for the future of our planet, and many companies are becoming aware of this when creating their products and stores. And this is the case with the Starbucks coffee chain, which in 2018 built an impressive store in Taiwan made from 29 recycled shipping containers. The fungal kingdom is something quite hidden in nature, and it can often surprise us. And did you know that there is a mushroom that looks like a human ear? Known as Auricularia auriculajudai, or also called Judas's ear, this curious mushroom is a rather unusual species that has the peculiarity of being edible. Now that's strange, Mother Nature. Few vacation postcards are as perfect as a blue sea and white sand, but even though it seems impossible, there is an even more paradisiacal beach, but with pink sand. This is on Great Santa Cruz Island in the Philippines, formed from red coral remains mixed with local sand. We know the Amazon River is the world's longest, at 7,000 kilometers. This fact influenced Amazon's founder, who named the brand and shaped its concept around it, because he wanted to create the largest library in the world. Pigeons are very common in the city, but they also live in other parts of the world. Did you know there are over 300 species of these birds? Additionally, some, like the Victoria crowned pigeon, are known for their large size and for having incredible bluish feathers. We know that snakes are already scary, but did you know that among the more than 3,000 species we can find one that looks like a dragon? This species, known as Atheris hispida, became famous not only for its incredible spiky scales, but also for being quite venomous and capable of causing us a lot of harm. That's really scary. Starfish are one of the most unmistakable marine animals in the ocean. Though it seems unbelievable, sometimes they lose their shape and grow completely square. Due to sudden changes in water temperature or salinity, lizards can be found in all warm areas, as they are very numerous and adapt to almost any habitat. And one of the most unique features of these reptiles is that their eyes don't have eyelids. Instead, they are protected by a transparent membrane that they keep clean using their tongue. We know that rivers and oceans are populated by all kinds of fish, but sometimes these animals also appear out of the water. For example, flying fish have large pectoral fins that allow them to glide up to 50 meters through the air with a bit of wind and some movement. Despite scientific advances, many creatures remain a complete mystery, and the best example of this is a living being known as blob. This striking organism is neither an animal nor a plant, nor even a fungus, but rather looks like a yellow mass. And even though it doesn't have a mouth, legs, or a brain, it can still move very slowly and feed itself. Nowadays, we can have a huge amount of space in the palm of our hand to store hundreds of thousands of files. But it wasn't always like this, since in 1996, not even computers had that much capacity. And, for example, even though it seems incredible, to transport a hard drive of just 5 megabytes, you needed a plane. So thank you, gods of technology. We know that some properties for sale are really expensive, but have you ever seen an entire town on sale? Even though it sounds incredible, this happened in South Dakota, United States, where you could buy a ghost town for $250,000. The abandoned city of Sweet included 2 hectares of land, a bar, a workshop, and a house that was apparently haunted. Artists often find inspiration in everyday objects for their creations, but the designer from the Netherlands, Stefan Broek, took this to the next level. He carves replicas of famous paintings and characters directly onto bananas, with an astonishing level of detail. When filming movies or series, it's very important for the sound to be completely controlled so that the actors' voices can be heard clearly. And that's why, for many years, directors who have to film scenes where people are playing pool use silent billiard balls, which don't make as much noise when they hit each other. Let's see if you knew that, my friend. In the world, tea is the second most consumed beverage and comes in an immense variety of flavors. But if you were wondering about the expensive and exclusive one, then there's Da Hong Pao, a type of Chinese tea harvested in the mountainous region of Guangzhou, which costs about $1,000 per kilo, and it's considered the best there is. If we talk about sculptures, we can refer to artistic works made from traditional materials, but sometimes they are also made with unconventional elements. For example, a huge chocolate sculpture measuring 15 square meters and weighing 11 tons. This piece holds the record for being the largest to date and represented a fully furnished house. A sculptor who has been transformed and who has been created. Thank you.